In this video, we are going to talk about mass tort lawsuits, what exactly they are, and how you and or a loved one may qualify for thousands of dollars of compensation. This will be one of the most important videos that you have seen in a long time, so please share, and share again, because we need to hold these big corporations accountable. While you cannot get back your health after an injury from a drug company or a manufacturer, you may be entitled to serious financial compensation. So to sum it up, if you or a loved one have ever taken a prescription drug and had any sort of side effect, then you may qualify for serious financial compensation. Currently in the news, there are several multi-million-dollar settlements that are being paid by big pharma and big corporations. This is called a mass tort case. A mass tort is a legal action involving multiple plaintiffs, which is different than a civil lawsuit. So often when a drug is recalled or when lawsuits are filed, it's because the manufacturer failed to warn doctors and patients about the dangerous side effects or long-term issues that these products may potentially cause. So when the manufacturer doesn't share important risk information with the doctors can't provide their patients with an honest picture of the risks and benefits of their drug. As a result, patients are prescribed a drug that they think will help them, but they can end up having serious health problems in the long term, and the drug manufacturers and the manufacturers of these products promote their products for uses outside of the scope of the FDA approval. So what they were originally approved for, they're using the drugs for other things to treat other illnesses. When a company can claim that a drug is used for more purposes than actually approved for by the FDA, it can sell more products, therefore obviously generating billions of dollars. And in some cases, these uses aren't inherently unsafe and they're just not approved by the FDA. So some of these cases involve drugs being prescribed at higher doses than recommended. And in other cases, the drugs just clearly have yet to be tested in clinical trials, resulting in injuries and even death. Yes, this is big pharma and big corporations playing Russian roulette with your health and the health of your loved ones and your family. Now, your doctor is acting in good faith and prescribing medications according to what the manufacturer specifies is correct. That's why the manufacturers are the ones being sued. What they're doing is they're misleading the doctors and the public about how these drugs function and what they actually can do. So at any time in this video, you can click the link below or the link in the description tab. You can fill out the form and see if you or a loved one would qualify for serious financial compensation, and we are talking in the thousands of dollars. Now let's get into the history of class action lawsuits. Class action lawsuits have been around since the early 1950s and seem to have started with the tobacco companies. So in essence, the tobacco companies knowingly gave the American people cigarettes that they knew caused people cancer and death and other injuries. So unfortunately, here we are 75 plus years later, and yet these big drug companies and big corporations continue to get away with manufacturing and prescribing drugs that they know have side effects that even include death. So nothing's really changed in history, except now we have more access and knowledge for information. So just how much money and how many injuries are we talking about when it comes to class action lawsuits? Did you know that in 2021, a new record was set for the amount of top class action settlements to the tune of $3.62 billion? That's compared to $1.58 billion in 2020 and $1.34 billion in 2019. This is according to Seyfarth Shaw, an employment and labor firm whose 844-page workplace class action litigation report was released on January 4th of 2022. Now, over the past several years, there have been billions and billions of dollars of payouts to people just like you from major drug companies such as Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, AstraZeneca, Abbott, Merck, Eli Lilly, GlaxoSmithKline, and many others. So now what we're going to do is we're going to break down the individual lawsuits to see if you or a loved one or family member had ever taken any of these drugs and maybe they got sick after and no one put the 2 + 2 together. So I'm going to list off some specific lawsuits that are that you're able to apply for if you have had injuries. And just if you want to skip to the form, just go to the click in the description tab. So we are talking about Tylenol, Zantac, any type of baby formula, or if you've given a baby, babies have developed NEC from the baby formula. There's 3M earplugs. Veterans, civilians, or families who worked on a Marine base named Camp Lejeune in North Carolina have been diagnosed with cancer and or serious injuries from the water. We are talking the IUD for birth control, the CPAP breathing machine, Juul or e-cigarettes, Elmiron, hernia mesh, Roundup, which is weed killer, Paraquat, which is weed killer, and Johnson & Johnson baby talcum powder. Many of the products that I just named have mentioned they've caused strokes, heart attacks, Parkinson's disease, cancer, pneumonia, lung, respiratory problems, nicotine addiction, nicotine poisoning, COPD, advanced asthma, heart attacks, seizures, strokes, mental health issues, behavior problems, and even death. So this is a serious situation here. So if you or a loved one has experienced any of these diseases, illnesses, or complications, then you may qualify for serious and large financial settlements. Click on the site below or click on the link in the description tab and fill out the form. It's time that we, the people, hold these big corporations accountable. This has to stop.